When traveling to Europe, one of the biggest problems that I face is finding good quality budget accommodation, particularly within Italy and France. And in this episode of Travel Taught Me, I'm going to review the accommodation that I stayed in Catania, Italy. Now, if you're traveling in a group of friends, your options are rather limited between high and expensive hotels or mid range boutiques. You could go down the route of staying in a hostel, but that's not for everyone, particularly if you're in a large group of friends. So when I set out to plan our trip to Catania, I knew finding the right accommodation would be a challenge. After a lot of research, I finally came across an option which provided the perfect mix of price, quality, and location. And of course, the reviews were really good as well. Stay tuned till the end to find out how much I actually paid for that accommodation. Before I get into the review, let me know in the comments what are your main priorities when looking at accommodation. For me, it's always location, price, and quality in that order, if I'm honest. But let me know what your preferences are. So the accommodation that I stayed in Catania was B&B Doralice. Apologies for my poor Italian pronunciation. As the name suggests, it was a bed and breakfast, but slightly, I'd say, a better version of it. Right off the bat, though, the entrance of the accommodation was one of those old school Italian large door residential buildings. So the first con straight away, the accommodation is actually on the third floor with no lifts. So if you're going to have a large suitcase or luggage, then good luck. We all had small trolley bag, cabin bags, so it wasn't too bad, but it might be challenging if you've got larger, heavier luggage with you. And the second con was that there wasn't any real reception at the accommodation. We just kind of bumped into one of the cleaners who directed us to the host who came up and then checked us in and sorted us out. But there wasn't any natural place to go to check in or anything, which again is a bit confusing. You need to liaise with the host via messaging and through the platform while booking. So not quite ideal, but still kind of got the job done in the end. But now the positives. The rooms, despite being in a rather old building, were fantastic. They were all refurbished, decent size. The bathrooms are pretty good. They're all ensuite. So very good, decent sized rooms, double beds, all of that, no issues. With a little balcony which opened up into University Square with fantastic views, definitely the best part of the accommodation. And outside of the rooms, there was a seating area where you could sit down, chill, relax. That was actually also the place where you could grab breakfast. The breakfast cost was around €4 per night per person, which isn't too bad. But we decided not to go with that option because we wanted to have some local ice cream brioche from one of the local cafes every morning. So we decided not to have the accommodation breakfast. But if you want to, totally up to you. And to be honest, it's pretty reasonable, although it's not a very luxurious buffet breakfast from what I saw. Now, the best thing about the accommodation was its location. It was right by Via Etna, which is the main street of Catania. And as I mentioned, the balcony opened up into University Square, which is bang on center of town. And it was less than a 5-minute walk to Piazza del Duomo, which is the main square in Catania. So very centrally located, near all the main options. From the airport, it was around a 15-20 minute cab drive. Not too bad depending on traffic. And also about a 20-minute walk from the train station in Catania. So we've discussed quality of the rooms, location, and finally the price. For 3 nights, we paid €180 per room, which wasn't too bad. It was €60 per room per night, which overall for the options and what the accommodation was isn't too bad. There are more expensive options, which are obviously a bit more luxurious, but for what that had for a shorter weekend break, I think it was pretty perfect. So from all aspects, it wasn't a 10 on 10 accommodation, but certainly a solid 7.5, 8 for me, all things combined. So there you have it. That's a quick review of B&B Doralice in Catania. Let me know what you think. And of course, if you have better suggestions for where to stay in Catania, please do let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.